This video is to show you the new strobe effect that we've included in development build 778 and onwards, and will be included in the new release. So up here we've got the basic lighting effects. Here we've got strobe, so select and drag strobe. I'll just chuck it on the mega tree, increase the size a bit, and as you can see there, you can see the visual representation of the strobes. Over here by default we've got timing source time interval, which is the cycle time of 150 milliseconds. Basically the lowest you can go there is 100 milliseconds, because Vixen works on 50 milliseconds intense. So at the moment the default is 150, so effectively it's 50% on, 50% off. So you're looking at 75 milliseconds on, 75 milliseconds off. And this is just set up for a simple. So if we just have a quick look at that, you'll see me mega tree flashing away. Now if we look down here, you've got the intensity. That's the intensity of each individual pulse. Alright, as you can see it ramps up and ramps down. If I just change that to say 1.5 seconds. Alright, turn that on and you'll see that it ramps up, ramps down. Alright, and that's 750 milliseconds on, 750 milliseconds off, because by default for simple it's just 50%. Okay, and obviously you can change colours with the colour gradient there. Now if we just go to advanced, by default you'll see the same thing, because we've got the cycle variation set to 100%, so 100% of cycle time is 1.5 seconds. So, and you've also got 50% on time. So once again that's 750 milliseconds on, 750 milliseconds off. So if we wanted to change the amount of on time, obviously it's a curve, so you can add in a lot of points there as desired. We say increase that. As you can see in the visual representation, it's now on for a lot longer than what it's off, and that's based on the percentage. So if we just have a quick look at that, you can see that it's on, ramps up, ramps down. It's only off for a small amount of time compared to being on. So if we just decrease that back down to 50% on, 50% off. Alright, and cycle variation is basically a percentage of your cycle time of, say, 1.5 seconds. So if I decrease that to 50%, then your cycle time becomes 50% of 1.5 seconds, which is 750 milliseconds. So now you'll see that each on and off will be half of 750 milliseconds. That just gives you the ability to change your variation over time. You might want to start off with fast pulses and end in slow pulses. Alright, so that's the advanced setting. So if we just put it back to simple, so we've got 750 milliseconds on, 750 off, and up here we'll change the time interval to use the marks. At the moment I've just set up 4 marks. At the moment it's got no labels in there. Here you can have the mark collections, and the cycle time will depend on the value within that label, or you can actually just use the label duration. So I'll click on label duration, select the default marks, and over here you'll see that, pick one of these longer ones, you'll see that the duration ends here. So if you come down, that's when the next one starts. So there's your cycle from that point to that point, and as you see, if we decrease that down, it'll decrease the, sorry, I just got to turn the preview off. If we decrease that down, you'll notice that now it's the cycle duration has been reduced based on the duration. If we increase that, it's now increased. Okay, so that gives you a bit of flexibility. Each one can be in between the marks, can be of a different size. So obviously between that mark and that mark you get that strobing effect, fast strobing, and then slower, and you can go slower and slower, etc. With the label values, right, if there's nothing in the values, then it automatically makes it that default 150 milliseconds. So if we right hand click and right hand click, edit text, just say we want to put 300 milliseconds in there, so just type 300. Alright, see that, it just adjusted to 300 milliseconds. You might see it better on this one. We'll increase that to, say, 600 milliseconds, which is effectively 300 milliseconds on, 300 milliseconds off. As you can see, it's increased. So that's just another way of changing the duration there. Obviously with the strobe effect you can use it with layering with any other effects, so you can strobe if you had that on your Mega Tree or your pixel grid, you can actually strobe your different sort of effects. Just say you want a strobing countdown or something like that, you can do that, or you can obviously allocate it on to your entire house as well, and it will my computer's a little bit slow at the moment, but you'll see that it'll strobe the whole house. So yeah, that's probably about it for the strobing effect. Yep, just have a play with it. There's obviously a lot you can do with that. Thanks very much.